Now you will see the sand kroomies that prevent your approach to Ganon.
The Black Cauldron is one of the Disney movies of all time. Its critical and box office failure almost tanks the entire studio back when it first came out. And it's been looked at as a black sheep by many Disney fans ever since. One of the funniest things about this movie is that it came out in theaters in 1985, but it was such a commercial failure that Disney didn't even release it on VHS until 1997. That's embarrassing. But it's also received a bit of a cult following over the years. A ton of people really like it. I'm not one of those people. I'm sorry, but I really couldn't stand this one. It is so boring and lifeless in nearly every regard, except the animation. I really like the gothic aesthetic they went for here, and there's a few fun elements, like these three witches were kinda neat. The bard guy wasn't too bad. I don't know, that's all I got. The main character in this is insufferable. He's always going on and on about how he's gonna be this great hero, despite the fact that he never really accomplishes much over the course of the film. The princess, who's just kinda boring, there's not really a ton to say or enjoy about her, even calls him out for this at one point, saying how his magic sword really did most of the work for them. And he's like, well, actually, it takes a brilliant hero to wield this sword, and you're a girl, so you don't even know anything about swords. He's so likable, guys. Isn't he such an awesome protagonist? Seriously, he never does anything to earn the status of being a hero. He doesn't even really defeat the villain, which, oh my god, don't even get me started on. You guys actually like the Horned King? I thought it was a joke, because that's what the Horned King is. Aesthetically, he's awesome, but then he starts talking and he's the most boring, generic jackass you could possibly throw into a fantasy movie. Ooh, I can't wait till my army of the dead is raised by the Black Cauldron. Oh no, I stood too close to the cauldron while it's sucking stuff in, and that's the way I get defeated. The main character kicked me once, and that's what caused me to stand too close to the cauldron. You've killed me.
Good.
Have I mentioned yet that this movie is basically a feature-length version of the Zelda CDI cutscenes, except played completely straight and not funny? Have I mentioned yet that the MacGuffin in this movie is a pig that can see the future? That's a fun idea that the movie does nothing with. The Horned King wants to use the pig in order to see where the Black Cauldron is, and 20 minutes into the movie, he has the pig and the main character captured. But then the main character splashes some hot water in his face and manages to run out of the room that has 1,000,000 of the Horny King's troops in it. How did he manage to get away so easily? And now that I know he can get away easily from the Horned King in the first 20 minutes of the movie, how am I supposed to be intimidated by this villain for the rest of the movie? Friendly writing tip, guys, maybe build up a confrontation between the main character and the villain more. Maybe don't have it be the first conflict he has to face, and don't make it extremely easy for him to get out of it, cause then your movie has no tension for the rest of the runtime, now that we know that the Horned King is a fucking moron. He doesn't even kill the main characters at the end. He just leaves them in a room with the Black Cauldron unattended, and then they easily fuck up his plan. Oh yeah, and that pig that was so important in the first half of the movie? Yeah, they forget that was a thing too. The Horned King doesn't need it. He just follows the main party, and then they find the cauldron, and then he gets it from them. So all the buildup about the pig was completely pointless. Okay. Who the fuck wrote this movie? I haven't even gotten to the comic relief, who is neither comic nor a relief to see. This annoying little shit only exists to be annoying and a little shit. He has the most irritating voice, and he accomplishes nothing throughout the movie until the end where he's supposed to have this dramatic sacrifice. And I'll give the movie this, it was the only time I felt any joy watching it. I cheered when that little cum stain fell into the cauldron and died. And I audibly groaned when the movie brought him back at the end, because of course it did. Nothing matters. This movie fucking sucks. I'm sorry. I guess it was slightly better than Tales from Earthsea, probably because it was about half an hour shorter. But is that really the bar we want to be striving for? Is not the most boring animated fantasy movie I've seen that much of an accomplishment? At least it probably scared the shit out of little kids. Movies should do that more often.